Only a few people were in Boontongs last night. Almost all of us trying to make one beer and two cigarettes last until the rain stopped and we could go home. Kevin was shooting pool alone. Kevin always shoots pool alone because nobody likes Kevin. Kevin's girlfriend, Nit, was seated at the bar, staring off into space and compulsively picking skin from the corners of her fingernails. She had a glass of water in front of her that Tom had given her, and she was trying to make the water last as if it was a beer and two cigarettes. Nobody's ever seen Kevin buy Nit a drink. At some point in the past, some woman broke Kevin's heart, and it made him bitter and mean. His pain is so obvious now and so out of place in the land of smiles that it might as well be a big gold sombrero. He's the kind of expatriate Western male who writes letters to the local newspapers about how fat and ugly Farang women are and how beautiful, feminine, and desirable Asian women are. But since only the most desperate woman of any race would come near Kevin, you can imagine that poor Nit is not going to be gracing the covers of any fashion magazines anytime soon. She's short and fat, but flat-chested with no butt. She's narrow-shouldered and pigeon-toed, but with a broad pelvis, so that seen from behind, she looks like a pair of parentheses. Nit never speaks when Kevin is around, and on the rare occasion that she smiles, she always hides her mouth with one hand, so you can assume that her teeth are bad. Last night, her hair was none too clean, and she was sporting a mouse under her left eye, where she caught the back of somebody's hand not too long ago. She had on ratty shorts and a t-shirt advertising the go-go bar that Kevin patronizes when his dividend check comes in the first week of each month. She had exhausted the epidermis on her fingers and was compulsively scratching a mosquito bite on her calf when the German backpackers came running in out of the rain. They were both dressed in baggy Nepalese trousers and singlets. They both had their long hair done in cornrows and beads, and it was obvious that neither one was wearing any underwear. Even though he was carrying a backpack which appeared to weigh more than Jupiter's smallest moon, the boy took his girlfriend's elbow and helped her across the bar to where she could flop all giggles and unrestrained fluid dynamics into a wicker sofa. He sat down next to her, dug a towel out of the pack, and began to dry her hair. When he was finished, he draped the towel across her shoulders, and then the two of them huddled for warmth over a map of Phuket. As the youngsters waited out the storm, Nit watched them in the big mirror behind the bar, and Tom stared openly at them in the Thai style. The kids were oblivious. They only had eyes for each other. If, when the rain finally stopped and they languorously assumed their burdens to leave, if you had asked them to describe the other people in the room, they would have been surprised to learn they hadn't been alone. After the cherubim ran skipping down the road, Tom leaned her elbows on the bar and stared after them with a funny little smile, and Nit slumped on her stool and looked at her feet. Kevin, who had studiously ignored the young couple the whole time, slammed his cue down on the felt and shouted across the room at Nit, "Come on, let's go!" He was digging in one pocket for some money to pay Tom and in the other for his motorcycle key when he passed Nit, heading for the cash register, and that's when she raised her head and gave him a look. And this is what the look said. Someday, when you're sitting in your big chair watching TV and you scream at me to bring you another beer, I'm going to come up behind you, wrap my left arm around your neck, and with my right hand, I'll slip an ice pick into the gap between your skull and your first cervical vertebra and push until the point of the ice pick comes out through the bridge of your nose. Then I'm going to pack my things, lock up the house, and go live with my cousins in the country. The look was so clear and so eloquent that it would have reduced children to tears and sent dogs scurrying under tables. Only Tom saw the look, and she gave Knit a look of her own that said, "Make sure you tell the neighbors he's gone on a visa run, sister, so they don't come check the house until they notice the smell." Kevin dragged his bike out from the line of parked vehicles, started it, and shouted at Knit, "Come on, the football starts in 10 minutes!" without ever noticing that his rear wheel was in a pothole, and Knit would have to walk through a mud puddle to reach the pillion seat. He gummed the motor and shot out into the street before Knit's feet were even on the pegs, spraying her back with dirty water. He never noticed. Just like he never noticed the look. Just like he'll never notice the ice pick. Well, first time shooting with the new iPhone at the hot springs, and no village people are here yet today, and no yoga practitioners. You know, with the new high season, the hot springs resort here is full of yoga groups, and there's one that's made up of the female cast of a European movie that's shooting in the neighborhood. There's like, they wear these little thong bikinis. I mean, they're virtually naked. This is a Muslim neighborhood, and they come outside to the public area. They don't stay inside the resort. They come out to the public area and do hot yoga. 10, 12 beautiful young European women, models, some kind of actresses, models, dancers, singers, I don't know. But they're basically just naked people outside in a Muslim neighborhood. And but today, no, I've got the place to myself. So, Sleeping with the Enemy is the name of that story, Knit and Kevin. And I don't remember writing it. It was from the mid-90s somewhere. And I don't remember the event that might have sparked it. But I'm sure that this was a story written just as an observation of something that I witnessed. I would have been in a bar. I used to spend a lot of time in the bars under a fan with an orange juice. Doing research, and I would have witnessed a Kevin and Knit incident. I would have witnessed a young Thai woman, a rented wife of Mia Chow, give her sponsor a dirty look when he wasn't looking, with the sympathy of a bartender, and it became that, a 1,000-word short story. I've sold it to The Nation, certainly Phuket Magazine, the Phuket Gazette, and probably one or two in-flight magazines back in the 90s. So I've been paid, and now it is collected in a book that is purchased probably once every 3 days, a copy once every 3 days on Amazon, but still. It has had legs, this story. And I was very pleased to be able to shoot it with the reverse. I built the fourth wall so I can do reverses now in Boontong's bar. So that's the story behind it. If you ever get a chance to come to Thai Muang and you want to hang in the hot springs, there's not a lot going on, but that's the whole point. That's the appeal. And yeah, thank you for your attention. Like, subscribe, share, buy me a cup of coffee, hit up my PayPal, leave a comment, do it all. You're the best. I appreciate you. I love you one and all. Thank you for your time.